Okay, sorry about the latency on this, if there is quite a bit, I'm sure there is, but I'm just using the nice iMovie program to make this, which isn't fantastic, I know. Okay, so today I'm just having a little look at the compressor and how it works. Okay, so this is just a very standard compressor, a Behringer compressor that we've got here, and I'm just going to sort of run through the main workings of it in case anybody doesn't know out there. And it's a good skill to have to learn how to use one, okay, in live sound situations and sometimes recording situations as well. Okay, well, the first thing you'll notice is all these knobs across the front. And if we take a little look and turn it around, we've got some connection points. I'm just going to bring this closer at the back. Okay, and we've got some jack plugs there. We've got some XLRs as well. And these are both input, output and side chains. So firstly, you have to have one of these. Just going to grab it for you in sight. One of these, it's a insert loom, and let me just take a look at it for you and show you what it's all about. So at one side we've got several connectors there, and these are labelled A, B, C and D, and these are like two wires, and you can tell this side because it's got the double ring. At the other end, these two doubles split into individual single ones, and you can tell these because it's got the single ring. It's quite easy to wire up. In your mixer, on every channel you should have an insert channel, and this is where your insert cable should go. We're just going to plug in at the moment A, and you can see where that plugs in on my desk, and I've just plugged it in there. This is a very small desk and very inexpensive, but every desk has them, and I'm just going to show you now. On the back you must find 1 and 2, and there's 1 and 2 there. And on the back you find that there's 2 channels on here, and I'm just going to lift this up so you can see it's quite clearly got one labelled as input and one labelled as output. And what I'm going to do is, I know with this in particular one, number 2 goes in the input, and number 1, funnily enough, goes in the output. And it's really as simple as that. You put your power cord in, like so. Well, now just going to fold all this cable around and turn it around. So there it is, it's now wired in. If you did wire it in incorrectly and you put those 2 leads in the back of this the wrong way round, the input and the output and the output and the input, you wouldn't get anything up on these LEDs here. So the next thing is to turn it on by that switch there, and we're just going to go through quickly the basic functions. I'm going to bring it a bit closer so you can see. And we're going to be having a very close look. So let's have a look at one of the channels on here. So the buttons that we've got that we're looking at here, we've got the threshold level, the threshold is when it starts compressing. The next one is the ratio. This is by how much it's going to compress by. And then you've got the attack, and the attack is done from 0.3 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds, so that's done in time, and that's how quickly you want it to start compressing. The next one is release. That one is after it's done the compression, how quickly is it going to return back to 0, and that is to 0 dB on the gain. The overall output we leave to 0, and that's about it. It's just this part that we're looking at today, the compressor section. I know we have the gate section here, and we also have the peak limiter up the other end there. So we're now going to have a little look at how this one works. Just going to pop you back down there for a second. Now I've got my microphone, and all I'm going to do is turn up the channel on it. And you should now start hearing me much louder through the speakers. So here we go. So you can tell straight away that this channel is working. We're going to bring that forward for you. Okay, so there it is. Now, we've got the first one then we're going to look at is the threshold, and the threshold one is this one. We want to turn this up until it starts going over to the plus, which starts lighting up red. If we turned it all the way down, it wouldn't go over, it would go straight over to the red. If you turned it all the way up to your right, it wouldn't compress at all. And we need to turn that threshold to where we want it to start. And this is usually done by speaking through the microphone quite loudly, and until you want it to start actually compressing. I've got it set at about -20 there. The next one here we've got is ratio. And the ratio one there, you've got 1:1, 2:1, 4:1, and so on. And that means if I set it to 4:1, every plus 4 dBs that it goes above, it takes 1 dB off. It compresses by 1 dB. The normal section really is 3:1. So I'm just going to put it about middle in there between the 2 and the 4 for 3:1. And you get that with most vocals. The next thing I'm going to go to is the attack. And now you should be able to see here that I've already got something going in the red, and I've got it going up to the green to 0. And I'm then going to just simply adjust the attack. Now the attack is how quickly you want it to start compressing. If I put it right up to 300 milliseconds, it would take quite some time. It's bouncing around there. When I take it down, you'll see that it does it more sharper and a lot quicker down here. I'm going to set that to 20 milliseconds. We're going to come across to the release, and the release time is how quick this red dancing LED, and more to the point, how quickly the release is going to be. If I put it right up, then it's going to release at a lot slower time. You can see that there when I shout loudly, and when I bring it down, it's now going to release straight away. It's flashing very fast back to 0. I'll leave that in the middle position because I think it's nice to have a bit of natural release. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how to set up a compressor. And thanks for watching.